Hello, everyone, and welcome to your
Oh,
essential detox. I am Pearl, and this is my lovely co host.
Ebony.
Yes, welcome.
Woo.
Oh, we are in September. It's Virgo season.
Mm,
It is Virgo season, and it is in
yeah.
full effect. Full effect. So I gotta ask you, Ebony, like I always do, how you doing out in these adulting streets?
I have to say, this week has been better for me as I'm starting kind of a new schedule of trying to be more productive in my days and, you know,
Hmm.
trying to get schoolwork done, just trying to make everything fit so I can meet my goals. So like one thing that I've started doing is and this went good for about 2 days.
Okay, you got to start somewhere.
But okay, so but I have set my alarm for me to wake up every day at 6:30. Or
Whoa!
like to wake up somewhere between six. You know me.
If you know,
We
you
don't do
know.
early morning.
Ebony is not a morning person at all. I'm not either,
I
but I
don't
have to
I
force
don't
myself.
I don't wake up like typically I can wake up between 9 and 10 a.m. and be fine for the rest of the day.
Okay.
But I was like, you know what? Number one, because for my job, I only have to commute to my job on Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Hmm.
And for those of y'all that don't know, I don't have a car. I don't own a car. I never had a car. Just ain't in my budget right now.
Hmm.
So Lord. So I take local transportation. If you from the DFW, you know about DART. And so that's what I'm taking to get to work. And so typically I was waking up at 7, getting to my bus stop by 7:30, getting to my train by 7:35 so that I could be at work by 8:45 and see my first client at 9.
Hmm.
Well, I was like trying to wake up at 7, and if I need to take a shower, it's just way too much. It's just way too much going on, and I don't have enough time. So I was like, okay. And I was like, you know what? Let me see if I can wake up between 6:30 and 6:45, do my shower, and see how I feel. See, what that does for me, and it gives me more time. And like waking up at 6:30 gives me more time to like take a shower, lotion, and just really take my time and doing that stuff and not feel rushed. So that way, by the time I get to 7:15, I'm getting things together. I'm not forgetting anything. So that way I can then be out of the house between 7:30 and 7:35. Like it worked this week and I was like, okay, let me set my alarm so I can get up every day at 6:30 because for I know I've mentioned it before, but just mentioning it again. I'm doing my doctorate degree. And it kind of seems like in the early morning I can get assignments and stuff done. Once the sun start coming up,
Hmm.
that's when my brain is like, mm, we don't know if we gonna do this work. And so my brain is like, we need to do this work, but my body is like, are we really going to
Yeah.
do work today? So I'm like, okay, let me at least get myself in the mindset of waking up that early every day rather than just Monday through Thursday or Monday through Friday. Because I'm like, if I can do that every day, then I honestly feel like I've had better days and I've been able to manage my emotions better just by me waking up better, more like
Hmm.
waking up earlier. So that's been very helpful. Also, just kind of a quick transparent moment. You know this, Pearl, but for those that don't know because I've never really shared it, is that I experience depression, anxiety, and I also have ADHD. And so um when I have depressed moments, I don't take care of my I don't take good personal care. I don't have good personal care.
Hmm.
So something that I'm very proud of is that from Sunday of last week to today, throughout the whole week, typically I would do a shower like twice a week. Maybe like it would be about twice a week. But I am super proud of myself because I took a shower 4 days out of the 7 days.
Good.
And it's been a while. It's been a while since I've been able to do that. And y'all be like, oh my God, you nasty. But for me, when I'm depressed and having anxiety and
Yeah,
the
everybody has
ADHD
that.
is kicking
It
in
affects
too,
everybody
like
differently.
my personal care just lowers. Like I don't shower, I don't brush my teeth, like it's just all those different things. So I can literally say, and even on the days like the 3 days where I didn't shower, I made sure to brush my teeth.
Okay.
So I can say that I do believe 5 to 6 days out of the week I brushed my teeth.
Mhm.
And y'all may be like, oh my God, funky breath. But guess what? When you suffer with depression and anxiety and you feel like the world is on your shoulders because I'm single, it's just me by myself working and making these bills happen and things like that. And so, I mean, and working in a job where my pay is based on me seeing clients.
Yeah.
So if a client cancels, I don't get paid. If a client if a client is sick, because that's one of like our excused things, I can't charge them for missing the session.
Right.
Um, so it's very difficult for me when it comes to budgeting because it's like, oh, I'm missing a nice amount of money. So now I'm having to do other things to get
Mhm.
income in. Um, but that's stuff for another day. But when you have to deal with all of that and the weight of the world, and it feels like the weight of your world is on your shoulders. Because I can't even say the weight of the world, but the weight of your world is on your shoulders. It's very difficult for me to have motivation to want to get up and do the stuff that I need to do. Now, when it comes to like, I'll get up and I'll work, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to be presentable like I'm presentable today because I got up this morning and I, I got up this morning, took a shower, brushed my
Mhm.
teeth, did my full routine that I know I have to do for me. And, I've been up since like 8:15.
Oh,
And
damn.
you Yes, like I've been up since 8:15. Um, so I mean, it's still a slow progress for me, but
It's
yeah, I
progress
mean, so
nonetheless, though. It's
yeah,
progress
and so
nonetheless.
oh, of course, and so I can definitely say like I like this week has been a good week. Like there's been some shit that's happened, but I mean, it's always gonna be some shit that happened. But I
Right.
can't really truly say like this has been a good week. But how are you doing? How is everything with you, Ebony? I mean, Pearl,
Um,
Lord.
for me,
Yeah,
it's
because
been.
I'm thinking about myself. I'm sorry.
I know. For me, this has been a good week for work. It's been busy.
Hmm.
I've mentioned before. I'm a customer service training coordinator at my job, and so I have a new hiring class. So
Okay.
that's a whole level of stress, making sure that I have like the content and everything is together, but just making sure that I'm following like my schedule on how to teach my content, not
Hmm.
making sure that I don't leave anyone behind because I can't move on to
Yeah.
something new until everybody gets it, and making sure I have everything prepped. And then plus
Hmm.
I am still working out the content for this training class I want to do for this fall. And
Mhm.
it's at first it was like it was my first time. It was my first time really just creating a course, and so
Mhm.
um it was very overwhelming because I didn't know how much research that you had to do about certain topics,
Mhm.
looking at certain things from a different lens. And shout out to my supervisor, Jeanette, because she's been helping me even like taking my hand and walking me through the door
Mhm. Right.
of certain things. But for the most part, like I'm getting a lot of content done for each objective, and it's coming
Mhm.
along nicely.
Mhm.
My main thing is that I don't want to get to that point where I finish and be just like, oh my God, I'm so happy I'm done with this. Like, I want to relish in that accomplishment that I
Mhm.
did do this for the first time. And
Yeah.
I've done this before, like underplay my achievements because, I'm not that type of person that just
Mhm.
overly hyped up about anything that's
Yeah.
great about what I do. But with this position that this job that I've been in, and as far as when I was working up under the customer service rep, like they want to
Mhm.
know about my achievements. They want to, celebrate
Yeah.
with me. And so I see the merit and the benefit of it. And so
Mhm.
that is something that I'm learning. Like I had my 6 month review back in June, I think. And so I tooted my own horn a lot. Like I tooted my own, like at what I've learned, what I've accomplished in the first 6 months of this job, and it was a really, really, really good review that I had. So I really can't wait for my end of the year review. But
Cause you got this job in February, right?
I got hired for the job I applied for the job last December. I got hired for it in January, and I started
Uh huh.
on Valentine's Day.
Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause I was trying to count 6 months. I was
Well,
like,
not
when
six.
you
It
started?
was like a mid year
It was
review.
like
Not a,
4 months.
yeah,
Yeah, that was like
it
four
was like a
months.
mid year review. Like the mid year review
Okay.
fell on that. So,
Okay.
but
Okay, and that maybe they're counting from like maybe when you first started work. I don't know,
I
but
don't
I
know.
mean, but that's good though. I think that's really awesome that you're now in a position where there's room for growth and room for elevation.
Hmm.
Um, because I mean, I know, where you
Yeah,
been, and the fact that like you started out because it was like I need,
a
it
job.
was kind of the whole thing of I need a job, I need money because I got bills. So where now it's like I feel like this is a job that you like
Hmm.
and that you are passionate about because you're able to kind of scratch or touch into that part of you that loves teaching
Hmm.
and like helping people learn. And even though you're not teaching, what you went to school for,
Hmm.
you're still teaching.
Yeah.
And you're able to help the company grow in such a way with all of these innovative ideas that you have of creating this course and creating ways for people to understand how to do the job and do the job great.
Hmm.
So I definitely commend you for taking the steps that you've taken to find something that you actually like. And I mean, the money good too. So,
Yeah. You know what, Ebony, I learned an important lesson 2 weeks ago. I was in a webinar
mm-hmm,
about this software that we use like to do video recordings and take screenshots. It's called Snagit. Very nice. And
mm-hmm,
the company of Snagit did a webinar. It was like a 4 hour webinar. It was called Level Up. And one
mm-hmm,
thing that two of the presenters um mentioned really hit home for me.
mm-hmm.
And they said, don't allow perfection to stop your progress.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I know for a fact that I am a perfectionist. I don't know if that's because of the Virgo in me. I don't know, but I like for things to be just so and to look right. But
Mm-hmm,
and my supervisor, was saying the same thing. Like sometimes your best is your best, and you have to be okay
mm-hmm,
with that.
Yeah.
because if you're doing work and stuff, the people who you're reporting to, they're not going to care if it's perfect. They just want to see
Mm-mm.
results. And then
Yep.
whatever they say, you can just correct it from there and just move on.
Mhm.
So when I really received that revelation, when I tell you, I just started pushing out my content like I needed to
Mhm.
to my supervisor to review. Okay, this looks good, Brandy. Okay, if my suggestion was you would tweak this and tweak that, what do you think? So it's really coming along. It's still some things that I need to do, but
Mhm.
it looks good. It looks good. It
Good.
looks good. So,
Cool. Yeah.
but yeah, so yeah, I was in the mindset because it was looking hard and I didn't want to do it. And I was just like,
Mhm.
I don't know where to start. Like that's what my whole thing was. I did
Mhm.
not know
Yeah.
where to start. And my supervisor, she was like, I could tell you what you need to do, how you need to do it, where to go, but it would be more rewarding, she said, for me when I figure it out and do it for myself. And she was
Mhm.
right. She was right. Like I said,
Yeah.
she sometimes she took me by the hand and walked me through the door on some things. But once I started really just figuring it out, I was like, yeah, I'm making this out as bad. This is not as bad as I'm making it out to be.
Mhm. Yeah, girl, I totally understand that because currently, right now, so I'm currently in a class that is actually very easy. The discussions, I finished those, you know, like I finished those pretty quick. But the written assignments, they don't have to be 2 to 3 pages, which that's not a lot to write.
Hmm.
However, my brain don't want to write them because I'm looking at the information and I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to write? What the hell am I supposed to talk about?
Hmm.
So I'm just, so the one thing that I'm trying not to do is force myself. Is just to like, as things come, I have like a spiral that I'm using to like write down like things that I'm noting and observing in this one case analysis and just and definitely and the one thing that I said with this degree was like I am not going to focus on my stuff being perfect. I'm going to do the minimum, and if I go above the minimum, okay, cool, great. If I don't,
It's still cool
great.
and
Is
great.
the I just want to get the work. I'm just trying to get the work done so I can continue to progress and move forward in this um in this program.
Hmm.
Um but yeah, so I definitely get the whole perfectionism thing because even for me on my like when I'm not having mental health episodes, I love for my stuff to be organized and everything to have its place. And when I don't, and when something doesn't have its place, it bothers me.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, just I definitely understand wanting your work to look a certain way and be a certain way, so that way when it's presented and you look at it, it's like that's my work.
Right, because
But
it's a representation of you.
yeah, but understanding that, life happens, shit happens, and sometimes whatever you can give to the project that day is just what you can give to the project that day. And if you can say that you met every little thing, or you checked some boxes, cool, great.
Hmm.
Keep moving forward. Don't stop and be like, oh, I need to perfect. Just keep on going with it, because and one thing I've come to understand is, guarantee you, if you just go ahead and submit whatever, or do whatever, the end result it's probably good as is, and it's not something that needs to be changed or manipulated, things like that. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Mhm.
agree.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Moving along.
yes, our first topic, and I'm going to play this video because I kind of thought I didn't.
Wow.
We got to pray for Sister Dash. This is about
Oh.
Stacy Dash. I'm just going to play the video if I can find the video again. Hold on, where to go? Yeah. I'm just going to play the video here for everybody to
Oh,
listen
Lord.
to. All right, here we go.
Okay, I'm ashamed. I didn't know. I didn't know
It's the music in the
DMX
background
died.
for me.
I didn't know from a cocaine overdose. I am today 6 years and 1 month clean.
Congratulations for her on being clean, though. I commend her for that.
It breaks my heart. Breaks my heart. He lost to it. He lost. He lost to that demon of addiction. Please. Please don't lose.
No.
Okay.
Okay. So so in this video, Stacy Dash is crying because she didn't know that DMX, that's who she referred to as Terrence, that's his, that he had passed. Now DMX has been deceased since April of
No, passed from an overdose.
oh, she didn't know he had passed from an overdose. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Um, for the most part, the compassionate side of me, my heart bleeds for Stacy because she's like really overwhelmed about this, and she's really, upset that he lost that demon to drugs. But on the flip side, that has been in the news since it happened. Like we all knew that DMX was like dealing with drugs, and when he passed away, we kind of already knew on a level before they even submitted the autopsy report that it was probably more than likely an overdose. So my
I
question is like, where have you been, Stacy? Like, what world, what bubble have you been living in? The man has been dead for 2 years now.
it's
two
been two
years.
years.
He died in 2020 April 21.
Girl, it ain't been 2 years. It's been one.
Okay, well, almost 2 years now. Okay, he been dead for a
It's been
year and
two
some
years
months.
next year, girl.
Okay, whatever. He been dead for a year and some change. And so again, I said, where have you been? Because at first, the first thought I got from the video is that she didn't know he died. Because that's what I was thinking. Because I was like, whoa, that's really big right there. Like,
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, she didn't know he. But then I read the caption and I heard and
I
I
didn't
listened
read
to it
it.
again. I read the caption and I listened to it again. She didn't know that he died
Died
from
from.
a drug overdose.
It's
So here's
still.
my thing. First off,
Go
I,
ahead.
I just have to break down this video.
Okay, go ahead.
One, why would you get on camera and cry?
Clout.
Thank you. That was I was like, oh, clout, relevance. Okay, cool. Boom. And then you start, I'm ashamed. Okay, like
As you should be.
I mean,
Cause you making it seem like
and
y'all was
then
just BFF friends. And I'm like,
girl, it like you said, babe, it's the music for me.
girl, that music was too
That's
much.
sad.
That's
I'm overcoming music. Oh, slavery. Just
girl, that
stop.
music was too much for me to handle.
Girl, and she crying and sniffling and saying, I didn't know that he lost his, this demon to, I didn't know he lost to the demon of addiction and,
Hmm.
all of that. And that's fine and great. But I mean, and I commend her for her sobriety. But my thing is, make a post, like type out a post and cry your tears off camera. Like nobody needs, I just,
Ebony, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on making a post. You don't need to make a post. That's embarrassing.
I mean, it's embarrassing either way, but I mean, if you gonna come out and say something like, you know, make a post. Don't sit up here and
And then
be
do
like,
a whole video and you just
"Thank
broke
you," and you
broke
just
down.
just broke
Just
down
broke
crying and
down.
got this somber. we got to overcome through slavery music. I'm sorry, like, man. I mean, and the thing is, I don't understand how you can sit up here and say you didn't know that he died from a drug overdose. Everybody, like, I mean, it literally was everywhere, and people were already, like you said, people were already suspecting that it was probably a drug overdose because he struggled with drugs. He's been on so many TV
Yes.
shows talking about his struggle, trying to get, help for his addiction and things like that. He was on Iyanla's Fix My Life. He was
Mm-hmm.
on this show that where they were trying to do like a
The
celebrity rehab.
rehab,
He
yeah.
did he did that. He's done so many different things, and you
It just
know
got the better of him. He wasn't
it
able
it
to
just
kick it.
it did. And honestly, I feel like he got to the point of just being tired with
Hmm.
dealing with this and dealing with life and just all these other things. And I just kind of feel like he was like, hey, do what I gotta do, which I really hate because he was such a great person. He had such an
Yeah.
amazing spirit. Like, he was so connected with God. And
And I
you
think
know
sometimes when you have celebrities like that, they don't know really how much they are loved. They
mhm.
really just don't know how much they're loved because they're so deep
Honestly,
in the thralls of what's going on. They don't see it rather.
I do agree. However, I know he knew how much he was loved.
Mm,
I feel that deeply that he knew how much he was loved by people, by the people in his life, by his fans, by the people that were always trying to help him. Like, I feel like he knew, but I honestly think he was just tired.
hmm.
And I mean, you may or may not, but may or may not agree. But for me, I kind of feel like this is very exploitive of DMX and him passing, because it's one thing for you to say, wow, it's been a year. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like the way she went about it was very exploitive, and I don't like that. Now, yes,
Hmm.
I find it funny because she just in here just crying, and it's like bitch, like, but but on a much more serious side, it's very exploitive for you to sit up here and bring this up and not having any sensitivity for his family and his friends who deal with this every single day. Like, I mean, because my thing is, if you were somebody that was close to him, you would have known this. If you call him a friend, you would have known this. But for you to
Yeah.
sit up here to talk about this, and then slide in, I've been 6.5 years sober. That's great for you, but if you're gonna talk about him, keep it on him.
Hmm.
And inspiring other people to say, I've gone through my things, and I don't know. I just feel like if she didn't cry, like if the tears weren't there, I feel like I maybe would have been able to take it better.
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, that's like the fact that she just did a video, period, just bothers me on
It
it.
bothers you.
It just bothers me because in my mind I'm like, even if I'm ashamed of something, I'ma just type a post
Yeah.
and post, and it's not going to be and it's not, and I'm not going to put my face as a part of that post. I'm going to post him and make it about him, and just like, anybody, I don't know, like, I'm just going to do it a lot differently, but it just felt very exploitive to me.
Okay. I can agree with that. I feel like it could have been better on how she did that. Like, hey, I don't know, where I've been this last year and a half, but just finding out how DMX passed away, and I'm just completely stunned. She probably still would have got some flack for that, but it would
Yeah,
have
I
been,
mean, of course, I
but
mean,
it would have been,
you
he
still
gonna
gonna
get,
get
yeah,
some shit
like.
because where the fuck you been? Like, everybody knew.
Exactly. Everybody knew. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what rock or what bubble, what world Stacy Dash is living in. But I need her to come out just a little bit to keep up. I needed to come out just a little bit because I don't know. I don't know. Again, like I said, I'm happy about her sobriety. 6 years is not a laughing
Of
matter.
course.
You
Yeah,
know,
it's not.
it's
That's
not a laughing.
amazing.
It's very so. And so I don't know. Like I completely, I on the, like I said, the compassionate side felt for her, but then the other side of Pearl was like, bitch, what?
But why?
Like
Just why?
why did you feel the need that you had to do this?
Like,
like
I mean,
like
just
we all like people already drag you anyway,
yeah.
but you
And you
just
just you have
you're
now
doing
you will
like the
forever be
absolute,
drugged.
they're doing the absolute most. I saw one response on that on that post from Twitter about, it's a picture of her when she was like really young and said, yeah, Stacey Dash was really clueless.
You know?
I laughed at that because if some people who don't know, Stacey Dash was in a very popular '90s show called Clueless, and yeah, she's she's fitting the role that she played in, in that
Baby.
TV show. So yeah, all right. So moving on, you want to tell them about this video before I play it?
Huh?
You want to tell them about this video?
Oh yeah, okay. So I was on Facebook looking at the Facebook Reels, and this dude just completely fucked up Harry Potter for me.
I loved it.
It was, I mean, it was funny, and I was like, shit, like my mind was blown, and I was just like, shit. But I mean, it kind of fucked me up too, because I was like, damn, like, is anything original?
Yes, and for those who don't know, Ebony is like a huge Harry Potter fan,
Oh,
like a huge Harry Potter fan. I love Harry Potter, but not to the extent that she does. And I agree. When I was laughing during the whole video because like that sounds
I
like
was
so many
laughing.
plots of
I
videos
was,
and
I
movies I
yeah.
have watched.
And the thing is, like, I was laughing, and then like there was a side of me that was like, "Fuck you for doing this."
For doing this to me.
But go ahead and play the video.
Oh no.
Oh
Okay,
my
hold on.
god.
J.K. Rowling did not write a masterpiece. She wrote Star Wars with sucky lightsabers. It is a direct ripoff of Star Wars. I am
It is.
positive of it. Have
Star
you ever
Wars
looked
came
at them
first,
side by
y'all.
side? Oh, what do we have here? It's a young male orphaned protagonist who, for his own safety, has been sent to live with his aunt and uncle until a mysterious bearded stranger, who's actually the one to deliver him to his aunt and uncle when he was a baby, comes into his life and starts to teach him about this ancient kind of magic. Granted, he's going to learn a lot more about this magic from an older, wiser wizard who's high most of the time. Regardless, his uncle is totally against this magic stuff. He won't even tell him what really happened to his parents. But against his uncle's wishes, he leaves home for the very first time, makes some new friends, meets a pretty, impetuous young girl. And though there will be an odd sexual tension between the two of them throughout, he will only ever love her like a sister while she struggles with the feelings that she has for his best friend, the scruffy comic relief.
Mm-hmm.
J.K. Rowling did not write a master.
Okay.
Oh goodness, that just
Everything that this creator put was so true, and it's like a common theme. It's a common theme. It's a common thing in most uh in most stories. You know, you have maybe have the orphan or the abused child, and they discover that they have some type of like, oh, for example, I love this book series called Aragon. They only did they only did the movie
Oh.
off the first one, but I love
Mm-hmm.
Aragon, and it's kind of the same way. Like, dude, the boy lives with his dad, and he found the dragon egg, and found out he was one of the last dragon riders, and so he went off on this adventure and went through all these trials and tribulations. Fell in love with an elf who did not return the feelings. and that's and that put him in a certain way, and it's just it's a recurring thing. It's a
It's
recurring
I feel
thing.
like anything that deals with fantasy or anything that deals with, like, fantasy and
Science fiction and things.
science fiction and stuff like that, there's always going to be this downtrodden, gotta pull
Like
itself up
from the
from,
bottom. Like
I'm
you literally starting from the
and the
bottom.
person is bullied and unloved and just
Nobody understands this whole teenage anguish thing going on, and
and then there's always the person that's like, the person wants to do this, and you know then there's like somebody that's like, no, you can't do this. And he's like, but I'm going to do it. They're like, no, you can't. And then there's the whole thing of they go off and they meet these wise people that really help them and open their eyes and help them tap into that thing, whatever it is. And then they, have all of these battles, and there come these bullies, and, I mean, just, oh, girl, it's just so much. It's
you want
so,
to hear
so
my
much.
unpopular opinion about
What?
Harry Potter?
What?
Albus Dumbledore was a manipulative bastard. That is my unpopular opinion. Some people
I,
don't
I
agree with
mean,
that.
I mean,
uh,
honestly, me, love the franchise.
mhm.
He is. I mean, and then especially now, kind of that J.K. Rowling has moved into telling, stories of Albus Dumbledore,
And watching
with
the
the
movies, how to
Fantastic
track
Beasts
these,
series, and just
yeah.
how we find out, oh, he's gay, and just all these different little things. He was very secretive. He's always been secretive and private. And it's like, okay, I mean, that's cool. But he knows how to manipulate people to get what, to
You
get things
want
done,
what you
or
want.
get what he wants. And so, I mean, for him to be where he is, I can kind of appreciate that a little bit.
I
You
can't, I can't, because you fucked over Harry's life. Like you could have did better if you wanted
Yeah,
to.
I definitely believe that.
And then you're gonna tell him about the prophecy after he saw his godfather die. Spoiler alert if y'all never read the book or watched the
If you
movie.
ain't never read the book or seen the movies, spoilers.
Like you gonna tell him about the prophecy and having this damn soul sucking shit leech in his scar, and I'm like, you could have been preparing him well before that.
But I mean, you know,
Talking about he wanted Harry to have a childhood. When did Harry ever have a childhood?
I just really think that it was a horrible job on their part that you left him with family that was sucky. Y'all couldn't have raised him at Hogwarts or
Yeah,
found him a
some reason
magical family
that could have took care of him.
that could have taken care of him and developed him and all these I mean, there's just so, I mean, now,
It's
me,
like so
the
many red.
therapist,
Well, like
the
I think
psychologist,
right when you
I'm like,
start like
I read into
looking at
all
it
that
and
shit
analyzing, like it's so. When I
and
started
like
watching it
relate.
as when I was a child and teenage watching, I
Mhm.
didn't think nothing of it. But as you grow older and rewatch and reread, it's so many fucking
Mhm.
red flags
It's
everywhere.
like, one, his parents got killed. They're magical beings. Why would you give him to muggles? Why the fuck would you do that?
I
He is
blame
a
I blame
magical person.
I blame Sirius. Like you, instead of doing your obligation as a godfather,
Godfather,
you're gonna run off.
girl.
I blame Remius, who never got
Mm-hmm.
in contact with him till his
Remus.
third to his third till he was 13. Where the fuck you been at? Just because you turn into a hairy dog every month? Okay, most women turn into that every month on their period, and they okay. Like we turn into a beast. Like
Shit.
what's the difference? Like it was just so. And then I
And
couldn't
it's one night.
one night, maybe two times if depending on how the moon cycle is. You couldn't take. And then I couldn't. I started not liking Molly Weasley because she just seemed such an overbearing bitch. It was just too. It was just, girl. It's kind of like when I watch Soul
That's
Food
so much.
again. It's kind of like
I
when I watch.
can't. I
I love,
cringe,
and
and I.
I started like, you know what? Terry was not the problem. That's what I'm saying. I liked it. Terry
Girl.
was not the fucking problem. It was her family.
I mean, I like no that there it was some stuff with her, but I mean, just it's a whole thing.
It
But
was.
for me, I just read. And so the thing is, like, when I was younger and the books first came in, and like the books first came out, like I knew about Harry Potter before there was even going to be a movie,
Hmm.
because the first book that I read was actually the second one,
Oh, really? Chamber of Secrets.
because my mom had took us to the bookstore, had took us to the bookstore because she was looking for some books, and I went looking and I saw the American version of the book cover, and I was like, oh my god, this looks so interesting. And so I
Mhm.
picked it up, and because my mom was like, hey, go pick a book. I was like, okay, cool, because I love to read. So I picked it up. Didn't know that it was like, the second book to something, but I read it and I fell in love, and I was like, oh my god. And I was like, okay, this is a really great book. And then, a couple of years later, finding out, oh, yeah, a few years later, finding out, oh my God, this is gonna be a movie, and there's a first book, and I was like, oh,
I need to
so
read that.
I've read the first, I had read the first two books, and then after that, teenage years happened, life happened, I wasn't reading as much, and so. But I loved the movies though. Like I
Mhm.
loved going and seeing the movies and all of that stuff. So, and it's now in my adult years where I bought the full book set, and I'm like, and I read the first book, I read the second book. I'm now getting ready to move on to the third book so that I can completely finish the full series and know all of the and be familiar with all the stuff that wasn't put in the movie, because I mean it's only so much that you can put in a movie.
Yeah.
And so for me, I feel like the way that the movies were, that they put in the pieces that were definitely of importance,
Hmm.
to bring the action and bring people in and still understand and get the story. But for me, I also like the other nuances of stories, just to be able to put even more pieces together. So I mean,
Yeah.
but definitely as an adult, I just look and I'm in there. It just the movies themselves. I'm like, you had a Godfather. Where the fuck, like, why were you not? Why didn't you say, hey, give him to me? I'm going, like, all of y'all that claim that y'all were there, that y'all were Lily and James's friends. Where the fuck were you when
Exactly.
when
And
they
so,
died?
right, and Dumbledore knew Sirius was innocent, with you being over the bodying government of the Wizarding Federation conference or whatever, the head mug,
Hmm.
whatever the fuck he was. He could have got him a trial. He could have got him a retrial.
Yeah, he could have. There was just so many things, but
It was just so much.
it really
But
was. But
I
the
think
fact that this man did this, man, a part of his comedy thing, a part of his set was that he did this. I mean, it's number one, genius. I
yeah.
mean, I cannot take it away from this man. But it kind of, I was like,
For me, I read the books and then watched the movie.
hmm.
So I have not watched a movie since the Order of the Phoenix, because I was like, after I read like what was going on and who, especially the last book, who got with who. Oh, I was fucking over it. But
Well,
I think I'm gonna
what
go
I
back and watch the like all the movies now.
do. Oh, let's do it.
A marathon. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and watch the movies because I did not watch Half of the Prince or part one and part
I've
two of
seen
Deadly Hollows.
every I've seen every single one so many times.
So
I
I'll go
damn
back.
near know them movies like the back of my hand.
I'll
I
go back and
know.
read the books, no problem, because I love the books. The books were amazing, but I
Yeah,
need to watch the videos. I need to watch the
yeah.
video.
You gotta watch the movies. Yeah, you
Go
gotta watch
with
the
me,
movies.
brother.
Yeah, yeah. Gotta watch the movies. So yeah.
All right, Ebony. So what we're gonna switch pages here. Ebony is pulling a me and has a surprise last topic for us. So I'm
Yes.
ready to be wowed.
So I don't know if you saw or heard, but the Oscars
Oh
asked
shit.
Chris Rock
Yeah.
to host for next year. Girl,
They had they nerve, didn't they?
I was like, the fucking nerve
They had
of
they nerve.
you to ask this man to come on a stage that is now connected to trauma for
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
And he turned it down as he should.
He turned it down, but the way he did it though, I was like, dude, seriously.
How did he turn it down?
Because so of course, he declined or whatever, but what he explained in one of how he did in one of his sets, which he just, you know, oh, brother Chris, oh Lord. So he so during his whole routine, he did the whole thing of, alleging um that he had asked to host, and pretty much that hosting the Oscars would be like asking Nicole to go back to the restaurant where she ate shortly after she was murdered. So, and you know exactly who it is.
No, he didn't.
Girl, you see.
Damn, damn, Chris, you just with these tactless, tasteless jokes. Just why would you say something like that?
And now, for me, I had to go back and make sure that I was correct on the Nicole that he was talking about.
Are we on the same Nicole? What?
I believe so. OJ Simpson,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
uh-huh. Yeah. I was like,
Oh no, because that's a media Nicole that popped in my mind when you told me
yeah. Because
that.
I was like, I mean, because 1999,
Yeah, why would you say something like that?
and girl, the comments of people coming for him on Twitter. One person was like, Chris Rock is still making Nicole Brown jokes in 2022. Embarrassing on so many levels. Then somebody was like, the more Chris Rock talks, the more you begin to see why Will Smith
This,
smacks
this
fire
is
out of
what it is, right? At this point, honestly, you can't. I'm starting to lose my sympathy because
I'm,
you
I'm
deserve to get smacked for that.
and, no, and then somebody else said, like Chris Rock opens his mouth and instantly the slap not only makes sense, but seems like it wasn't enough.
Oh no!
And then somebody else said Chris Rock is doing nothing but showing us exactly why Will slapped the taste out of his mouth. Looks like Chris could use a couple more, honestly.
Oh no!
And
I'm on.
somebody said yeah, Chris Rock, you getting slapped for talking shit, and Nicole Brown Simpson's brutal murder are totally comparable events. Great analogy. You totally care about violence against women. Fully clear to us now.
Okay, I'm looking at Twitter too because I had to see this shit for myself. This comment here. Chris Rock made a joke about black women having an autoimmune disease, and people were defending, respectively, respectable politics over moral and ethics. Him making a joke about a woman who got killed isn't surprising. When people aren't held accountable and are instead cuddled, they stay problematic.
Hmm.
Girl, why would I'm just uh I'm just kind of I don't know how to. Girl, I'm speechless because that's just so wrong on so many levels. Like, why did that's okay? I don't know.
I'm just like, all you had to do was just say, I decline because, I mean, and I get you trying to make a joke out of it, but it's like, okay, like you make the joke about Jada being bald,
Hmm.
Everybody knows she has alopecia. You get on, Oscars come to you and say, hey, they reach out to us like, hey, why don't you host the Oscars? Controversial motherfuckers. As the Oscars, the people that run the Oscars, they are just controversial as fuck. And I'm like, okay. Um, and then you get on stage and you could have referenced anything, but you retched.
You reach real
You
far back,
retched.
real
Yes.
far back. So let me ask you a question though. Let me go ask you a question.
Like
Do you
23 years
do you
or something like that.
think that we and other people may be reaching ourselves with him because he's a comedian, and then we have heard a lot of comedians that say something that nobody likes, but we know that's they're comedic and they run that in their material. Do you think that there's a
Uh,
like a line that needs to be drawn sometimes with a comedian in their material?
I do believe there is a line. Um, I do when unless if a person is talking about themselves and their disease,
Hmm.
let them do that because that's them.
Right.
If they're talking about their sexuality or gender orientation, whatever that is, whatever, let them talk about it. If you're talking about your own personal experiences with a certain community, okay, cool. Because clearly these people know who you are, and they're like, okay, do jokes, we're good with it. But when you're talking about somebody's disease, somebody's health issues, somebody's mental, like when you're talking about those things,
Hmm.
I just it's not something that for me that I appreciate simply because you went back long ago to talk about and to make a comparison of your slap, the trauma of your slap to the trauma of somebody dying and passing away.
Hmm.
This is yet again where I feel like it's exploitive because you, I mean, and it's also re-traumatizing because this woman's family is still grieving never stops.
Yeah.
And then here it is, you bring her name out your mouth. And it's like, I get it that, that there's so many ways to make things jokes. For me, I appreciate how Kevin Hart makes the difficult situations in his life funny.
I do this. I agree because I was gonna bring up like Bernie Mac and Steve Harvey based their career on the jokes about their family. Like Bernie
Yeah,
Mac did
I
a whole
mean,
sets about raising his sister's kids.
yeah, I mean, and even, um, God, who is it? I just had the person in my head. Um, Crap, it literally just left, but it's a comedian anyway. But just to when you start making jokes about other people or other groups of people,
And their
and you
struggles.
don't have the okay from
Oh,
that community to talk about them, to make jokes about them, when you know, dog, who is it? Who is it? Who is it? I can't think. Dang, and it's right here, and I can't think of it. Ugh. This time with having ADHD, y'all, I fucking hate it because I lose shit like this really fast. But yeah, I believe that there's a line,
mm-hmm.
and there's always been a line, but now, you know, I mean, I don't, because and the thing is like, in my mind, I'm thinking, of course, about Dave Chappelle and his last Netflix special, which I found was funny, and I found, didn't see an issue with it because you hear him, because in number one, he's talking about a lot of stuff that he talks about anyway all the time,
Mm-hmm.
which is like, okay. And then when he gets to talking about the transgender woman that he knew, he, he says, I have permission. Like, I had,
Right.
like, I
I
have
feel like
permission.
that
She
got
saw me doing this.
blown out of proportion. I don't
Yeah.
like personally. I don't like Dave Chappelle, and when I watched that comedy special, was like the only time that I really just watched a set of his, and I laughed. Like I
Hmm.
didn't find anything wrong with it. Maybe because I don't
Hmm.
know. I didn't find anything wrong, but I feel like that.
Yeah.
I just felt like it got blown out of proportion than what it
Yeah,
really
I
was.
felt the same way. And the thing is, for me, I've never been a Dave Chappelle fan.
Mhm.
Never. I became a fan of him when he started doing the Netflix specials
Mhm.
a few years ago. That's when I became a fan because the shit was just fucking hilarious. And I was like, yes, I know who it was. Tony Baker, the comedian Tony Baker.
Yeah, because he made
And
some
like
with his son
last
passed.
because his son passed last year, and he's taking that, and he's not joking about him being dead or dying, but he's making jokes about the funeral. He's making jokes
Mhm.
about who his son was because and literally when he was doing, like, when he first came back on stage and he was doing one of Kevin Stage's keep your distance comedy shows. He got on there and he was making jokes about his son, and people was like quiet, and he was like, "Yo, these
I
are my
got
jokes.
jokes.
It's not good.
I,
Like, I
I
got
got
jokes
jokes.
about
That's what he said. I
yeah."
got jokes. I saw the
It
expression. I'm
makes
like, I got
makes
jokes.
me feel good for and like laugh. I was like, you look stuck up. Girl, I was laughing my ass off.
It was
And it's like when it's put
hilarious.
in those contexts,
Yeah.
okay, do your thing. But when it comes to talking about other people that you don't have a relation to and bringing shit up, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. I like I said, I think the Oscars was wrong for him Oscars was wrong to ask him to come back, but
Definitely wrong for that.
I really feel Chris was wrong in this aspect of what he said as his response. It was so tasteless and insensitive about the
Hmm.
deceased. It was just like you could have did said anything other than that. Like I don't know. Sometimes I wonder
Hmm.
how these comedians' minds work. I like like does
Yeah,
everything have to be a joke?
yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, I don't know. And also, pulled up an article where he actually started to address the slap. And one thing he, made known was that he's not a victim. He doesn't feel like a victim. And, he was like, he's like, it happened. I shook that shit off. And, he was like, and I went back to, he said, and I did what I need to do and went back to work the next day. I mean, and and then, part of what he said was like, anyone who says word hurt has never been punched in the face. I've been punched in the face first. I was like, I've been punched in the face. I've been slapped. Like, I've had those things happen. And so, I've been in fights. Okay. I've been in
Okay.
fights.
Okay.
Bitch, we don't do physical abuse over here.
Girl, you see me frown up? I'm like, wait, what?
Because when I seen your face round up, I was like, oh, she thinks I've been physically abused and she didn't know. Girl, hell no. No, I would no. I've been in fight like I've been in fights with my brother, my family, shit like that when
Okay.
I was younger. So I
Okay.
know
Okay.
what so I
Okay.
have the memories of what it feels
All
like to
right, we're on
be
the same
punched and
page then.
slapped and shit.
We're on the same
Yes.
page. Okay.
Bitch, I was the fuck up here.
Girl, my frown, girl, I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Girl.
Now wait a minute. Okay,
No,
we're on the
ma'am.
same page. We're on the
But
same page. I've
yes,
been in
and
fights. Okay.
so yes, and so I know how I feel. So I know how that feels. But it's like physical pain. You get over that. You can have the memories of it, and sometimes it can haunt you or whatever. But emotional pain is just a whole lot worse.
Hmm.
It's like words hurt like a motherfucker. You
Yeah,
know,
that whole saying, sticks and
I
stones
hate it.
may break
That
my
is
bones, but words will never hurt me. That is the most false shit
bullshit. It
ever.
is
Words are
bullshit.
more painful than any type of physical hit.
They are, and people fucking suck for. And whoever came up with this shit, I'm like, you, what's wrong with you? I mean, and I kind of get it, because it's like, it's the whole idea of don't allow what people say or think
Truth.
about you to affect you.
Hmm.
But here's the thing: when the people you love do it, then what?
Exactly.
Like, how I'm
Exactly.
supposed to not let that affect me?
And you say that
If
you love me.
I mean, shit. So I mean, it's like, I get it, but I don't agree with it, because it's like, if I'm not allowing this to affect me, then I'm not dealing with. Girl, here I go on my therapist rant. But anyway, I'm not going to go there. I'm not gonna go there. I'm just not. That's for a whole nother show, maybe. But yeah,
All right.
right.
So,
Mm-hmm.
speaking of, what do you have today, Ebony, for our professional woke?
All right. So our professional woke, um, I have pretty much when there's so many people that will say find what you're passionate about and figure out how to monetize it.
Mm-hmm.
In some cases, okay, yes. In other cases, no, don't do that shit. Because here's the thing. Let's say you're passionate about dancing.
Mm-hmm.
Monetizing dancing, you would have to work your ass off to not only do it professionally, but to be paid. Case in point, the pandemic happened. People who are entertainers and performers
Yeah,
that
they lost
dance,
out.
they lost out big time. And that was for me a lesson in, I'm glad that things that I'm passionate, what I am passionate about, those are hobbies, those are things that I can do on the side. And if I want to monetize them, I can. One thing that I am realizing is that, yes, I love being a therapist. I'm very passionate about it. Monetizing it, yes, it can happen. However, where I am right now with work, I don't like it. So I'm in the process of switching from it being my full time thing that I do to more of a part time thing that I do on the side, and finding something for me to do full time that's going to bring in income and revenue so that I can afford these motherfucking bills.
Mm-hmm.
And I strongly believe that, I will tell people, find a job that you find something that you like and monetize it, but something that you're passionate about. Do that on the side, unless it is something, like if you are passionate about teaching, okay, go ahead, do your thing, teach. Because that's, teachers are needed for real.
Yeah.
So I think they're just like anything that kind of goes into the, of you being an artist, being an entertainment, or even, with being in mental health. Like, I mean, just for you, if you find that it's a passion, if you're going to monetize it, make sure, I mean, make sure you have something where you can still get money in to pay your bills. Cause
I agree with that. And I'm gonna take it as far as like a content creator aspect. Um, right now I have a Twitch channel. And I'm really, because of work, and that I know that I'm not making revenue off of that. Like, I would love to be like a full-time streamer. I would
mhm,
love to do that. Like, being a full-time streamer, content creator, like really focusing on my brand and my YouTube channel and my Twitch channel. But I
mhm,
know that's work. Like, I'm amazed. Like you, people don't even know how much work and time goes into being a content creator of any source, even
Mhm.
if it's on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Like being a full time content creator is so time consuming, and I don't
Yeah.
have that type of time to dedicate to it, like as much as I would like to.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
really don't. And so, I have the ability now because I'm affiliate, like I can make revenue, but because I'm not fully dedicated, I have not really just built up my fan base, because like really right now I probably stream once a month, and like my loyal
Mm.
50 come in and we have a good
Hey.
time or whatever, but nobody like really just subscribes to me. It's like
Mhm.
nobody just does that, and I'm okay with that because I know you have to start
Yeah.
from somewhere. But
Yeah.
I can't just rely on, like I just can't quit my job and say I'm gonna be a full-time Twitch streamer, because I still
Yeah.
have bills to pay.
Yeah.
you know a
I
lot of
mean,
people
unless you
like,
got a hell of a savings,
right, and like a lot of people
or
who
unless you
I
get the fucking lottery,
right, and that'd be something totally different. I wouldn't mind. I don't need to work.
baby, look.
But I've seen a lot of content creators who I watched like from their early goings to where they are now. It was a struggle.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be passionate about what you
Yeah.
want to do. By no means,
Yeah.
we're
By
saying that.
no means
By
at
no
all.
means. But while you're getting to that point, as far as like monetizing it, make sure you have your ducks in the row. Make sure you
Mhm.
may have some support behind in you, while you get your dream off the ground. I'm not saying that it won't happen, but just know that there's going to be some bumps and some sinkholes in that road. And like it's
Mhm.
and like Ebony said, unless you just got money like that where you can just dedicate your full time to it. And because
Mhm.
sometimes like family don't understand it. Sometimes they can't understand
Mhm.
your passion and your drive, so you might not have support from them. Sometimes your friends won't understand it,
Mhm.
your passion and your drive. But if
And
it's
you just have, you know.
if it's important to you, I would say like really important to you, and you just not just doing this because you see other people doing it and think that you're going to get the
Mhm.
same measure of its success, then do it. Then reach for your goal, and you be the
Mhm.
best damn whatever that there
Mhm.
is. But just know that it's just not going to be all sunshines and daisies when you start
Yeah.
out. You
Yeah,
know.
cause girl, I know like funny shit. I want to say back in like 2015, I started really getting into watching YouTube videos, unboxing videos, people, you know, trying snacks and food and shit, all them kinds of videos. And so I was like, you know,
I
I
can do
can
that.
try it out. I was
Yeah,
like, okay, shit, let me do this. I can try this out. Yes, girl, I stuck to that for like
it's so much work
two,
involved.
maybe 3 months. Girl, I was, and because the thing is, I was like, wait, I gotta share this with people. I gotta like,
You got to plan a schedule. Like,
no,
how do you make it more engaging for people to
because I
come
was
in and
like,
make
I'm gonna just, because I
viewers?
was
And
like
I'm
number
like,
one. I was like number one, editing. That is not my thing. Videos just gonna look the way they look.
gotta edit.
And then
You
you
gotta
want me
edit.
to share this, and then you want me to share this with people.
And it
Wait a
might be
minute.
multiple shots where you have to get different camera angles on different
Girl, I'm
things.
not doing that shit. No. I was like,
Exactly.
fuck that.
Exactly.
And so, I mean, I did some videos, and y'all can probably find them on YouTube. Maybe, maybe not. Hell, I might just go delete them motherfuckers. I was like, hell no. So, I mean, I tried my hand in it and was like, nope, this ain't gonna work. And this is, mind you, I'm doing my master's degree, so it was like, fuck no, no,
Right.
I don't
So
have time for this.
I
No,
got into, go ahead.
and it's crazy because I wanted to do a podcast and start a podcast, but I was like, I gotta share this with people,
But you
and
see
then it's
how
gonna
much,
be
like, so
me.
much groundwork we had to do just getting this off the ground.
That's why I was like, nope, I'ma just stick to I'm glad that we came together and we're doing this together because I couldn't do this by myself.
Like my first dip in the pool as far as content creating, I was still in college, and that was maybe a year after mom passed away. I
Mm,
did my, and I was, I really started like for a coping mechanism. Like I really started getting into like playing online games. And so I just like, you know what? I'm just going to record myself like a walkthrough of this game that I recently started playing, and it was fun. And my first video that I posted, I had 14,000 views. And
wow.
so I was like, wow, people actually just want to sit here and listen to me talk and
Mhm.
ramble on because I really didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And so exploring it together. So I was like, I
Yeah,
could, thinking like I could do this, but then, life, like I just couldn't, like, y'all, hey, if
it's not something
it's
you can do all the
it's
time.
not something I can do all the time. And my
Cause
hands
then
go
it's
out,
like you lose interest, and then
and
it's
you
like
and that's what
now I'm
happens.
doing that, and now it's
It's
like
like
I'm
another
only
job.
doing this,
It's like
and
another job, and I'm
no,
not really seeing any rewards behind it. Like, don't get me wrong, y'all. I love streaming. I love uploading videos of gameplay that I'm doing, but it's so much involved what you have to do with streaming. You got to send out notifications. You got to make sure everything is up and running when you start. You got to be all and have the camera on and engaging. And people who know me and that I am an introvert, and I just, that's
yeah,
tiring because you're giving a
yeah,
part of
there,
yourself to somebody. Uploading
mm-hmm.
videos to YouTube, you got to record the videos. I edit. So that's time consuming right there.
Yeah, see, I don't see all of this beautifulness that y'all see with the background and all. Like I had a hand in helping create. Like she created it. I just was like, oh, let's try doing this and let's change. So I gave some input, but how it be the beginning and the end and all of this. Baby, the best thing I could do was show up and do a virtual background. That's it's like, and my part is I put some input in, and I've done this virtual background, and then the description that is me.
But as
All
far
of that
as,
shit.
but like the
It's
layover that you're looking
finding
at,
finding
are
restream. Huh.
I
Yeah,
did the
she did the research. She just, I mean, she just was like, whew, and I was like, okay,
But see, I
yeah.
think that's because we know each other's strengths and weaknesses. Like I'm
Yeah,
more into this. Like
you more
I
tech.
did our overlay and our clip art. I did our intro and outro videos. I had like done like several just for your opinion to see which one you thought was best. I
Mhm.
do the thumbnails
Yeah,
for our video. I edit our
I do
videos.
this. I don't. I don't. I don't do
But
it.
I know Ebony is not like that. That's not for me doing stuff like that. I have a talent for it. I wouldn't say it's a passion, but I have a nice talent for it. And so why not do it in that way? Okay, well, I'll do this and then Ebony, you focus on this. That way we all
Yeah.
have we both have input into what we're
Mhm.
doing and what we're building.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like all
I
I'm
mean, you
saying,
play. You play on people's strengths.
yeah, you
Like
have to.
whenever you're going to do something, you want to play to your strengths. Whenever you're trying to figure out what your career is going to be, you want to think, okay, what are the things that I am good at? And if you're not sure of what you're good at, ask your friends, ask your family, if you can, what am I good at? What do you think I would be really good at? And
Mhm.
then find a list of careers and look and see what it takes to do those careers. I mean, especially when you're young, especially like in high school and in college, do the research. But I guarantee you, everybody has something
They're
that they
good at.
like and that they're good at. And so for me, I know for me, I'm good at encouraging and helping people through problems and things like that. That's why I got into counseling.
Mhm.
Um, but one thing for sure is doing it full time. I am definitely coming to realize that I can't do this full time. That I
Hmm.
need to do something else that is not counseling full time and do counseling part time.
I think it weighs like heavily on your psyche though.
It does, and also I don't want. Well, I definitely, doing private practice, I definitely can't do it because depending on people to show up and and the only way that I get paid is by
Them,
me
them,
meeting with them.
yeah. That's a
That
lot weighing on that
I
if
can't
they
do
show
that.
up for their
It is.
appointments or not.
It is. I mean, and the thing is, we have late cancel and no show fees, but if they are like within the contents of our excused absence policy, I
Hmm.
don't get paid for that.
Yeah, that's too much.
And especially when your caseload is not, when you don't have a full caseload, it hurts.
It kind of sounds like it's commission based. And
Yeah,
that's how it just sounds like. That's
yeah,
why I
that's
have
literally,
never liked jobs like that. I need me an hourly sets like that. I
yeah,
know
and that's
that I'm gonna get
literally,
paid on this day
and
for the
that's
hours that
literally
I work.
And that's literally what I'm trying to move into. But for y'all, like, I mean, y'all gonna do what y'all want to do.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
that's we know this. But just for some, taking it from some 30 something, young black women, we've been out here, and it's just hard. And when you got bills on bills on bills, and you got
it seems
life
like you're not
happening,
not making enough money to cover the bills, and you be thinking like my bills are not that much, but the paycheck ain't. Food is going up,
whew,
the
look,
cost of living
look,
has gone up, everything is going up except for your pay.
mm,
And like sometimes you got to cut off some things that you like because I could be
mhm.
using that money for something else. Like those are
Like,
like the
I literally only got
decisions.
my nails. I only got my nails done because it's my birthday, baby. These things are they have grown out. I've had these since my birth. I had these since my birthday week. I've had
It's
these for
August.
what, 3 weeks now,
Uh-huh.
almost four.
Hmm.
So I mean, I'm about to soak these off and go back to doing my nails my damn self. But I was
Hmm.
like, I'm gonna just be pampered because it's my
Hmm.
birthday.
I'm definitely
But
going to
yeah,
get my nails done. Not this weekend, but next weekend for mine. But yeah, I get it. Um, but like yeah, it's crazy. You have to make like those real decisions on, okay, so what I want to do. Okay, I need to do this. I need to set money aside for this, and just like, I need to win the lotto, or somebody who I didn't know
I
that
will.
I was related to decided to, and they knew me, but I didn't know them, and they gave me an inheritance that I didn't know nothing about. They gave me it. I done got an inheritance. Hell, it could be
Look,
$5,000. Hell, it'll take the burden off somewhere. Hell, I pay my rent up for the fucking year. You be done with it. That'd be extra money I could be using to something else.
look,
But
look.
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah. Do you have anything else to add today, Ebony?
I don't. Just I really hope y'all like what we do and the content that we provide, because we're really putting ourselves out on the line by giving our opinions and things
That,
like that.
that some people
So
may not like, but
yeah, so I really do. Um, I really do hope that y'all love, that people are really liking and or loving the content, and that we try to bring y'all some good relevant shit, even though we
mm-hmm,
don't do it. We ain't putting shit out every week because our lives don't work like that.
mm-mm,
We put it, we're trying to go for twice a month,
mm-hmm.
but sometimes, like last month, it's just gonna be once.
Yeah,
you know Shit happens.
yeah.
Yeah, but other
Um,
than that, I don't have nothing else.
okay. Well, again, I'm gonna piggyback off what you said. I hope that you do like what we're doing, because honestly, it's slow going. but
Mhm.
we enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
Um, and so I think really at this stage, that's all that matters, that we enjoy it. And then other people who do like to watch it, they'll enjoy it too. Um, Again, like I said, some people may not like our unpopular opinion, as they say, but we call it how we
Mhm.
see it.
We
No,
do.
we call it how we see it,
We just, I mean, yeah,
and
it's
that
how we see it.
how we see it and how we take on this view. May not be, may not how you view it, but maybe what we're
Mhm.
saying, it will give you something to pause and to think about. Like, oh, I never thought
Yeah.
about it like that. You know.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, but if you are enjoying our content, please go ahead and follow us on Twitter at
Mhm.
essentialdetox.com. And if you're watching via YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button at the bottom and hit that notification when we post another video.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. And um we are supposed to do another podcast this month, which will
Mhm.
be the week after my
Your
birthday. My birthday. Your girl's gonna be 33. I'm hitting my mid 30s hard and running. I am slowly creeping out of my early 30s, and I don't know, Ebony. I say this all the time. Like, I just fucking can't believe I'm in my fucking 30s.
Girl, I can't either. I'm like
Like, I just can't.
I'm really 30 too. Like,
I knew, growing up and growing older, like I was gonna be getting older, but like I don't know, once you hit like a certain age, it's like I'm not in the mind space. It's like I'm looking back. Do I have regrets or anything like that? I think everybody has regrets. I may have done some things differently,
yeah.
but just like, man, where did the time go? Where
Mhm.
where did it
Yeah.
go?
Yeah.
And I
I
definitely have
wonder all
things
the time.
I
Cause it's
definitely
like,
have things to show for it. Like I said, I don't
oh
have
yes,
any regrets,
definitely.
but it's just like, damn.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, y'all have a good evening. It's Labor Day
Yeah.
weekend.
Yes.
No,
Have
no work,
fun. Be
no work
safe.
for me tomorrow. But if y'all, yeah, like Ebony said, if you be safe this weekend.
I gotta
um
work
I'm
because
sorry.
I gotta make money.
I'm sorry. Yeah, see, this is that thing where you have an hourly job. I get paid to be off tomorrow.
Yes, see, this is why I'm about to find an hourly job where I can get paid to be off tomorrow. Where I can,
Get paid
you
to
know
be
what
off
I'm trying to say, girl.
holidays.
Shit,
Yeah.
I'm so mad.
All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.
Bye.